Tonight's big stories: a magnitude 6.3 quake struck off Batangas province this morning, jolting parts of Luzon, including Metro Manila. Are more aftershocks coming? We'll get some answers from Phivolts' Mike Abita.
A Reuters report has highlighted the dismal state of Philippine media, which has persisted to this day. The study says media harassment and abuses to press freedom remain rampant in the Philippines. We'll parse through that report later on.
And the economic team, led by Finance Secretary Ben Jokno, begins pitching the Maharlika Fund to overseas investors. Their first stop in Asia, Singapore.
Welcome to the program. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Gretchen Ho.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Girls,
Lindor.
big earthquake this morning. Where were you guys?
I know you were on air.
Yes, we were.
Did you feel it?
The lights were moving. We didn't feel it, but the lights were moving.
You were live on air.
Yes. So I was trying to strategize how to do that, just in case, everybody...
Did you know right away it was an
Everyone
earthquake, or
names
you were thinking na baka ano lang
they
yun,
told
nahihilo
us.
ka lang? Okay.
Nasabi sa amin.
So
pero-
personally, you weren't aware that it was shaking, except for the lights moving.
Hindi. Ikaw?
I was fast asleep with my dogs. Sad to report that there were 3 of them and no one woke up, including myself.
Well,
How
I
about you,
felt
Reg?
it because I live on the 45th floor of
Oh,
a condo.
no.
So feel mo talaga
Yeah,
because
the swaying.
Correct.
Yeah.
correct. I
Pero
mean,
yung
the
protocol-
building is made to withstand quakes
Did
like
anybody
that.
evacuate from
No,
the condo?
but we did duck.
Okay.
You
that's
didn't.
good.
You were not made to exit the building and go down 42 flights of stairs.
45
45 flights of stairs.
Mind you.
All right,
Well-
Reg. So we do know that this quake happened. What do we know so far in terms of data?
Okay, let's have a look what we have. This strong tremor took place at 10:19 this morning, and the epicenter was located in Calatagan town in Batangas. Phivolts earlier reported that the quake was at magnitude 6.2, but they later upgraded it to 6.3. Intensity 4 or moderately strong shaking was reported in parts of Metro Manila, Batangas, and Cavite. State seismologists also expected damage and aftershocks, but they note that damage could be minimal considering that the quake struck at a depth of 119 kilometers. The Calatagan LGU itself reported no severe damage caused by the quake in the area. Phivolts did not issue a tsunami warning due to the tremor, which they said was possibly caused by movement in the Manila Trench.
Kung matatandaan nyo, may mga panahon din tayo na may mga malakas na paglindol na nararamdaman sa Metro Manila. Same din ang pinanggalingan na source. Ito po yung pagsuksok ng bloke ng bato sa West Philippine Sea, PLLM, along the Manila Trench, at umaabot po yung sumuksok na bloke ng bato sa ilalim dyan sa Batangas. Kaya may mga lindol tayo mga 100 kilometers deep.
Well, it's not just us, but also President Marcos, who was being interviewed by the media when the 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck. Now, he didn't realize that it was happening at first, but it was pointed out to him by some officials after the interview. Let's check out his reaction. Parang wala rin nangyari, ano?
Dead mo lang din si President Marcos. Now, NAIA and all major train lines in the NCR had to stop operations this morning after the earthquake. Let's check in with Brian Basa for the details. Brian, what do you have?
Hi, Sean. The trains are back on the rails again after being halted earlier today because of the quake. Cracks were seen at some stations, including Ayala, Boni, and Magallanes at the MRT3, but transport officials say these will not hinder operations. The agency also vows to inspect these cracks more closely in the coming days as part of their safety protocols. Now, as for the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, operations have also resumed. That's after airport personnel checked the runways and taxiways. They found no damage on the pavements. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Brian Basa.
Let's get more details on this earthquake with Phivolts science research analyst Mike Abita. Mike, thank you for joining us in the big story tonight. First question to you is, how many aftershocks have been reported so far?
Hello po, good evening po sa lahat. As of 7 p.m. today, meron na po tayong 18 recorded aftershocks po. And 8 po dito ay na-locate near the vicinity po ng ating magnitude 6.3 earthquake. And 0 naman po yung reported na felt or naramdaman po dun sa lugar. So the magnitude is ranging from 1.6 to 3.1 for these 8 aftershocks po.
Alright, Mike, inaasahan ba natin na mas marami pang earthquakes or aftershocks na ganito kataas yung magnitude na tatama sa Luzon? At meron ba tong koneksyon sa unrest sa Taal Volcano na nasa Batangas rin?
So when we say aftershocks po, we are only expecting earthquakes of smaller magnitude, no? And then immediately it will be difficult to say kung magkakaroon po ng mga earthquakes na ganito kalakas yung magnitude, no? But for medium term to long term, the presence of active faults and trenches, not just in Luzon but the whole Philippines, are capable of generating strong magnitude earthquakes. So kaya po very important po yung participation natin sa earthquake drills, just like nung last Thursday, June 8, we held the 2023 second quarter nationwide simultaneous earthquake drill, so we can prepare and evaluate our response to actual earthquake emergencies po.
Speaking of response, mukhang up-to-date yung NDRRMC, pati na rin yung Google Earthquake Alert. Some are saying they got the alert before they actually felt the tremor. What do you think about that? Ano ba yan? Parang forecast ba yan? How reliable is this system?
Currently, wala po tayong technology to predict earthquakes, no? But to provide the exact time or yung location or yung magnitude ng earthquake, no? But PHIVOX has done several studies like paleoseismology, so we are able to provide worst-case scenarios based on historical earthquakes. So these are used to plan, design, and construct resilient infrastructures. So given this, what we can do is to make sure our structures, yung workplaces, houses, school buildings are structurally safe and have them inspected as well.
Yung kanina pala, Sean and Reg, yung alert pala, kaya na una sa iba. Kasi second wave na yung naramdaman natin dito.
Okay,
So nauna na
that's
sa
why.
Kalatagan.
So, magkaibang earthquake yun
Hindi siya
actually.
forecast
Hindi siya
pala.
forecast.
Well, may follow-up question lang ako very quickly kay Mike. Mike, you said we're not at the point where we can actually predict the earthquake. So how far away are we from that? You think years pa ba tong technology na to?
Possibly po, but there are emerging technologies naman po, especially utilizing yun nga po, yung early warning. So yun po kasi yung mas madali so far with the advancements po sa instrumentation. Meron pong mga sensors na makaka-detect earlier than the others as the earthquake propagates nga po away from the source. So, meron po tayong lead time to warn yung mga hindi pa po nakakaramdam ng lindol, yung mga mas malalayo po from the source.
May epekto ba ito dun sa mga bulkan natin na nag-aalboroto ngayon? I mean, just so much is happening now.
Currently, based po sa available data, no, the earthquake was tectonic in origin, no, as explained by Secretary Solidum earlier. Yun nga po yung subduction po along the Manila Trench, no. But rest assured na if there are developments, changes in the monitoring parameters po ng Taal Volcano, no, yun po yung pinakamalapit, siguro we will relay to the public po and to everyone concerned.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, PHIVOX Science Research Analyst Mike Abita.
Now, circling back to the situation in Albay, residents there are now concerned over the impact of ashfall from Mayon volcano. Now, of course, we know that ash can cause irritation and may lead to upper respiratory problems. Medical teams have now been deployed across Albay to attend to residents who may experience such health issues. Some residents have also complained of skin irritation from the ashfall.
Pinag-iwasan natin is yung irritation sa mata, especially yung sa mga bata. Kasi pag napabayaan siya, kukuskusin, kukutkutin, then usually baka magka-diferensya, magka-komplikasyon yan eh. Pangalawa, yung siyempre yung sa ating paghinga, yung sa baga. So we have to make sure po na pag always use mask. And as much as possible kung kaya natin, may goggles, di ba? Kunwari na-expose ka, then pag uwi sa bahay siguro, hugasan na lang muna. Sabunin para mawala yung abo.
Okay, so etong ang ashfall. Naabutan ko pa yung 1991 Pinatubo ashfall, and all I can say is that para siyang polvoron dito sa Metro Manila. Compared to dun sa Taal na parang butil-butil eh. Bilog-bilog, small, circular, sandy particles. So yun, parang masakit talaga pag na-scratch.
Naalala ko medyo nagpapanik tayo ng 2020, buying face mask. Kasi nga parang the
Oh, yes.
ashfall was
That's
reaching
right.
Manila.
Yes. Yeah.
And then sumakto kasi
Nagka-COVID.
nag-pandemic.
So nagamit yung mga N95, di ba?
We needed N95
Yeah,
din,
that's
saka
true.
yung talagang surgical masks, right? Which was in shortage at that time. So this is a good reminder as well to, mask up.
Mask up, especially I think when it comes to ashfall and the debris from the volcano, it has to be an N95 or an equivalent to N95 kasi yun talaga yung nakaka-filter ng
Filters about
particles.
95% and up of
Yes.
Or
the
stay
fine-grained
indoors.
particles. Exactly.
Wear goggles.
Wear goggles, yun lang.
Well, it is not just a safety hazard that we need to think about. There's also the health risk, as we were just talking about. Let's bring in Elaine Fulgencio for some updates. Elaine, how long will the residents have to deal with this ashfall from Mayon?
Reg, experts have said that we could expect volcanic unrest to last for a few more months. That is why public is urged to be ready and be prepared for any eventuality. FIVOC says minimal traces of ashes were reported in at least 3 more towns in Albay. And for now, aside from ashfall, there is still continuous lava flow and rockfall in Mayon. There is still no indication yet of a major eruption, but then again, we cannot be too complacent, especially now that there's the health aspect to consider here in Albay. Reg?
Thanks for that update. Reporting live from Albay, Elaine Fulgencio.
Now, it's not just the Mayon volcano that's giving us quite the scare these days. Several other volcanoes here and abroad have been acting up. In Batangas, volcanic tremors and sulfur dioxide emissions have been recorded in Taal. The Taal volcano is still under alert level 1, which means low-level unrest. Same goes for Mount Canlaon in Negros Island, which emitted sulfur dioxide last week. Over in Hawaii, the Kilauea volcano erupted last week, spewing lava and sending molten rocks to its surrounding crater. Kilauea is considered one of the world's most active volcanoes, with its last major eruption back in 2019. The Popocatépetl volcano in Mexico also spewed smoke and ash last month, forcing residents living in danger zones to evacuate. Now, as to whether these volcanic activities are all connected, FIVOC says it's all just a coincidence and that there is no evidence linking these volcanoes together.
If you are out during rush hour, you probably are very much aware of this. The country has been experiencing more rains lately. However, Pagasa says the amount of rainfall we're getting is simply not enough. The Weather Bureau attributes the lack of rainfall to the Philippine Sea's cold surface temperature, and the agency sees this as an indication of changing global weather patterns. Due to the current lack of rainfall, the water level in Angat Dam, which supplies Metro Manila and nearby provinces, remains far below the normal high level. That's why local chief executives are continually urging residents to conserve water. Metro Manila mayors are also planning to construct a rainwater catchment system to augment water levels in dams.
So mga pag-ulan na ito na mga naranasan natin ng mga nakaraang araw, nadagdagan po yung level ng ating mga dam. Although hindi pa rin ito malalaking mga changes, maliit pa rin yung mga changes.
We're going to pause for a quick break now, but up next, despite continued opposition at home, the economic team starts selling the Maharlika Fund to Singaporean investors. The details when we return.
You're still watching the big story here on One News.
The economic team, led by Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno, are abroad again, this time in Singapore. Diokno was accompanied by NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan and Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman. They hosted the Philippine Economic Briefing at the posh Fullerton Hotel this afternoon, which they said was attended by some 110 foreign investors from various industries, including the CEO of its largest bank, DBS. The team pitched investment opportunities in infrastructure as well as, of course, the Maharlika Investment Fund. Singapore is the Philippines' top source of foreign direct investment and the fifth largest export market, though it's not yet clear if the economic team was able to lock in any investment pledges at the event. Secretary Diokno also said they want to create several sub-funds under the Maharlika Fund.
Because the fund has to earn money. So you have short-term, long-term investments, and we propose to create several sub-funds, infrastructure fund, maybe green fund, and so forth and so on.
Inisip ko lang, di ba weird na hindi pa pirmado yung Maharlika?
Pero nilalakunan.
Tapos nilalakunan.
I mean, there's no law that prevents them from doing that. The question is whether the investors will buy into it, considering that there's a bit of noise domestically.
We do get pledges, right, every time the president goes abroad. So what's the difference? I mean, there's
a pledge is a promise. It's hard to check whether these promises
they can, put it there in the pot.
In the pot. This is actual money. If you invest, I suppose it's better than an investment pledge.
It's not an MOU. It's not a commitment, right? But there's a lot of talk still and noise over the Maharlika Fund at this point.
Kumbaga, yung image niya kasi domestically is not so great.
Yeah. There's still a lot of uncertainty on where they will invest.
Hindi pa siya law, so that still needs to happen, of course.
Despite the change in administration, the state of Philippine media remains largely grim, according to a 2023 Reuters Institute report. Now, the study authored by veteran journalist Yvonne Chua noted that attacks on journalists have not let up since the Duterte administration. Chua said there have been 75 recorded press freedom violations under the Marcos administration between June last year to April 2023. This includes the killing of Percy Lapid, as well as several surprise visits by cops in plainclothes to journalists' homes. The report also cited some red tagging incidents led by a media group, no less, the Sunshine Media News Network, owned by wanted televangelist Apollo Kibuloy. The study also revealed that Filipino sources of news remain mostly what they find online, including social media. Meanwhile, trust in Philippine media is at a steady 38%. Chua claims this is partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic coverage. Long-established media brands also earned a relatively high level of trust from the public, while more independent news outlets, which often report on public officials, are often actively distrusted by the supporters of these politicians.
Pausing for another quick break, but right after that, we will be speaking with Jervy Lee, also known as Kalad Karen, on becoming the country's first transgender news presenter. When the big story returns, keep it here on One News.
Mac, you're still watching The Big Story here on One News. And what else do we have tonight,
Special guest.
girls? Oh, yes, that's
Special
right.
guest.
That's
Pareho
right.
ka ng suot kahapon.
Muntik
Buti na lang today, hindi.
Muntik na rin today.
Kung kailangan
Teka
nyo,
na, sige na, sabihin mo na kung sino.
kung kailangan nyo ng kapalit, pwedeng-pwede itong guest natin, di ba? May
Pwede na mag-absent.
Jervy Lee, aka Karat Karen, continues to blaze a trail for the Filipino trans community after becoming the first transgender news presenter in the Philippines. This is her first week joining TV5's primetime newscast Frontline Pilipinas. It is not her first time to anchor, though. Karat Karen also made headlines after serving as guest star patroller in ABS-CBN's flagship newscast, TV Patrol. Now, aside from this, Karat Karen also became the first transgender to win Best Supporting Actress at the Summer Metro Manila Film Festival for her role in the comedy Here Comes the Groom. We're honored to have you today, Jervy Lee, aka Karat Karen. Welcome.
Hi, Gretchen,
to the Kapatid
Regina,
Network.
and Sean. Hello, mga kapatid.
Grabe, tuloy-tuloy yung milestone sa buhay mo. I mean, just, the awards and all these breaks. But how much does this mean to you?
It means a lot to me, but first of all, I want to thank the Lord for giving me this opportunity. And I always think that there's a purpose why I'm here, why I got all those achievements. Maybe because, someone has to blaze the trail for the community.
And are you willing to be that woman to do that?
Pag gusto ng Panginoon,
Amen,
bakit
amen.
hindi, di ba? Parang there's always something, a reason behind everything. And I think one of the reasons why I'm here is yun nga to represent the LGBTQIA+ community, the transgender community, especially now that there's like trans aggression
Pero
in the United States of America.
You impersonate Karen Davila. And now you are a news presenter yourself. I mean, what does the news mean to you, specifically this role?
Well, it means a lot to me again because, having my own character, not as Ma'am Karen Davila, means a lot to me, of course, kasi syempre ang tagal ko siyang in-impersonate. And now, I'm, coming out of the cocoon. I am what I am.
So maybe
Diba?
now it's time to create a new name. Kasi hindi ka na just Kalat Karen. Now you have your own show, you have your own,
Your own segment,
awards,
and your
own
awards, your
segment.
movie career.
This question has always been asked to me sa lahat ng mga interviews ko. But I always say that Kalat Karen will always be part of Jervy. So parang synonymous siya sa isa't isa. But I'm so happy that people call me Jervy. Sometimes whenever I go out on my social media, they say, congratulations, Jervy, or Jervy, how are you? You did great tonight, whatever. So I'm happy that they know Jervy, they know Kalat Karen. So
Actually, Jervy/Kalat Karen, you are more than qualified to be here. I know you have a background in journalism or broadcasting. Can you tell
Magna
us?
cum laude yan, ha?
Oh, exactly.
Grabe ka naman, ba't sinasabi mo ba yan?
know that.
Because it's true.
Well, it's true, but aside from that, I have been part of the television industry ever since I graduated from the university. I was a writer in Eat Bulaga. That was my very first job. I was a creative writer. I had wrote several shows in different networks. Reality shows, magazine shows, and ano pa bang sinulat ko? Hindi ko na maalala. Pero ang dami ko nang nagawa before I worked in front of the camera.
At what point did you say, I think I can do that too?
Marami
You
yung
can
mga
be
hosts
in front of the
namin
camera.
before, Miss Regina, they always tell me, alam mo, bagay ka mag-host, ba't hindi ka mag-host? And I never had that kind of opportunity. Not until my video went viral for
Which
the very
video was
first
it again?
Yung
Yung
tumatawid
bahaba
sa
to?
Cuyab River, sa ilog. Hindi pa uso TikTok nun at YouTube. At
Grabe.
nangyari yun. And
Do
yun
we
nga
have that video? Pwede ba i-play?
I don't know kung meron. Pero yun nga parang naisip ko, bakit siya magva-viral kung hindi siya para sa akin? Maybe
Kasi
it's written in
napakinggan
the
ko siya.
stars.
Akala ko talaga. Si
Si
Karen.
Hindi, ang galing mo talaga doon. Oh.
And that was impromptu.
Tsaka, galing to sa TV5, ah.
Yes, naalala ko.
Homecoming to para sa'yo.
You were a segment producer before. So, pagbabalik mo to sa TV5.
Actually, sumali ako ng Amazing Race Philippines Season 1. That was 2012, hosted by Derek Ramsey, nung nandito pa siya sa Kapatid Network. And then the year after, I was one of the producers of the Season 2. ng Amazing Race Philippines. And then I did Showbiz Police, Happy Wife, Happy Life, Happy Truck ng Bayan.
Balitawanan.
Balitawanan sa
So
Signal.
funny.
Umagang kay Ganda. Magkasama kami sa Umagang kay Ganda, by the way. And I just want to say, I'm so proud of you. Kasi naalala ko yung usapan namin, nasa kanto kami, Cubao Market. KTV ata yung feature namin. As in, ganun pinanggalingan namin dalawa. But you know, sabi ko nga, I love where they put you now in Frontline Pilipinas because they did not just make you a showbiz anchor. Also, you have your trivia segment.
Kay Alaman ay Kay Yamanan.
What would you want to do? I'm excited for you. What would you want to do with that? Is journalism like something that you'd really want to get into?
I've always believed that the possibilities are endless. Ako, open ako sa kahit anong opportunity na ibibigay sa akin. But I made it clear to the management of TV5 that before I joined the news department, artista kasi ako di ba? I'm also an actress. So, how do I balance both? So, papasok ako dito gabi-gabi, but sabi ko sa kanila, please allow me to do movies or teleseries because this is who I am. I'm not just an anchor. I'm also an actress. And I think not a lot of people can do that. You know, modesty aside. Modesty aside. But I mean, why not do both if you can and if you can balance both?
And I mean, you also write.
I
you
also
also know how to
write.
produce. So that's you have a very well-rounded background, right?
Naku, kung
All
makita mo
around ka.
Behind the scenes, magva-viral na po siya sa mga ideas niya. Oo, hindi lang namin pinopost.
So
Bawal.
now you've come to a point in your career where somebody could be impersonating you.
Oh, wow!
Naisip mo ba yun?
Actually, Miss Regina, to be
Naisip mo ba
honest,
yun?
ginagamit nila yung pangalan
galing.
Kalad Karen sa mga Miss Gay.
Ay, galing.
Oh.
At anong
Let
nangyari
me stand by the name, Kalad Karen. Tapos sinasabi sa akin, mga freak, oh my God, ginagaya ko sa mga
Nakakilig ba?
Nagugulat ako, sabi ko, ang always question dyan, pag may impersonator ka, bakit ako? Maybe they saw something in me na pareha sa kanila or whatever, but I've always been thankful to the fans, to the whole LGBTQIA+ community for being so supportive of whatever I do. Yun nga visibility is very important. And I think one of the reasons why I'm here is to represent and for the
I love
transgender
it.
community to be visible in the mainstream media. And that's all for today in the big story. Charot!
Mawawala na tayo ng trabaho. Konti na lang.
So pala medyo bitin yung ating oras for
Oo
tonight.
nga.
But you can catch her, Jorvy Lee, on Frontline Pilipinas every day, 6:30 to 8 p.m. on TV5. And we're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep on
Thank you
blazing
for
the
having
trail.
me.
We're so happy to have you with us. Alright, ito muna. Dito ka muna ha, Kalad Karen. Before we go, lead by example ba, Kanyo? Well, our big picture for tonight shows none other than Manila City's chief executive doing just that. Manila City Mayor Honey Lacuna personally led a citywide cleanup drive today. Along with volunteers and city officials, Mayor Honey picked up trash in esquinitas and esteros in and around Tondo, Manila. Well, sana all masipag maglinis. At sana all din
Tama yan.
may
Lead by
time no, na
example.
nagagawa.
Lead by example.
Dapat, diba? Alright, what about you guys? We'd love to know your thoughts. Simply leave them in the comments section, which are always open, and we'll be sure to check them out. And that's it for the show tonight.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in and have a good night.